श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम्
श्रीमत्कृष्ण समाह्वाय नमो यामुनसूनवे यत्कटाक्ष एकलक्ष्याणाम् सुलभः श्रीधरः सदा नमः यामुन पाद अब्ज रेणुभिः पावित आत्मने विदित अखिल वेद्याय गुरवे विदित आत्मने नमः अचिन्त्य अद्भुत अक्लिष्ट ज्ञान वैराग्य राशये नाथाय मुनये अगाध भगवत भक्ति सिंधवे कस्योदरे हर विरिंचि मुखः प्रपंचः कस्य उदरे हर विरिंचि मुखः प्रपंचः को रक्षतीम् इमम् अजनिष्ट च कस्य नाभेः कः रक्षति इमम् अजनिष्ट च कस्य नाभेः क्रान्त्वा निगीर्य पुनः उद्गिरति त्वत् अन्यः कः पुनरुद्गिरति तदन्यः कः केन वा एष परवानिति केन वा एषः परवान् इति शक्यशङ्कः. This book fortunately gives the question mark correctly so that we will understand the question. So in the third quarter and fourth quarter, kaha is there. The question mark is after the word kaha. Padavari, the word by word meaning. Hara virinchi mukha. So haraha shivaha. Hara is Lord Shiva. Virinchi. Virinchaha, virinchihi. There are two spellings for Lord Brahma, the four-faced creator. So virinchi. Mukhaha meaning etc. and others. Mukham is face, but here mukhaha meaning they are at the forefront. That means these two are leaders of the other gods. So Hara, Lord Shiva, and Virinchi, Lord Brahma, the creator, are the leaders of all the gods. Therefore, they are standing in front. Then Prapanchaha, the world, universe. Kasya Udare, in whose belly, whose stomach. Kasya Udare. The verb is understood there. It is actually not missing, but it is hidden there. Kasya Udare Prapanchaha Layangataha or Layitaha. Where did the universe go or join with? In whose stomach? In whose belly? The world, the universe consists of all the people led by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. They are the leaders of all the world because they creation was done by four-faced creator, whereas Haraha, Shiva, had to take care of the destruction portfolio. Therefore, beginning and the end of the universe. But in the middle, what happened? And after the dissolution of the universe, after the deluge of the universe, what happened to the universe? That's the question. So kasya udare. Then imam, this world, imam, kaha rakshati, who protects, who saves. Earlier also we had the answers in the question itself, and therefore kaha rakshati is, kaha is Lord Brahma, can say. Kaha is again Lord Vishnu. Eko naiva savah kahkim yattat padam anuttamam. Vishnu Sahasranam says, Eko naiva savah kahkim yattat padam anuttamam. Loka bandhur lokanatho madhavo bhaktavatsalaha. So even the word which means you can normally understand as who, it's a question tag, but it means Lord Vishnu. And again, if you say it means Lord Brahma initially, Antaryami of the Lord of creation is again Lord Sriman Narayana. So Kaha Rakshati. So the answer is there. Who protects? Kaha Rakshati. Kaha Rakshati, who protects? Kaha Rakshati, Lord Vishnu protects. So the protection for portfolio, sustenance department is Lord. Not only sustenance. Kaha Brahma, so Kaha is four-faced Lord. So Lord Vishnu creates in the name of Brahma. So in the name of Shiva, he brings all the entire universe, all the creations into his stomach. And therefore, of course, Kaha does not mean directly Lord Shiva. Therefore, then Kasya Nabehe. So Kasya Nabehe Ajanishta. So the full question is Kasya Nabehe Ajanishta. So from whose navel, the Kasya Nabehe. Generally, as we say, the mother's belly, mother's stomach is the source of the birth of the child. The child develops in the stomach. That is, of course, the uterus for the lady. So for Lord Vishnu also, his belly is the uterus for the entire universe. So Nabhi is only a symbolic external limb that we can see, but as all of us know, the umbilical cord that connects the child, it gives supplies food, whatever the mother takes in, and therefore Nabhi is actually the food pipe. That is what we call the resource Lord. Kasya Nabehe Ajanishta. Ajanishta undayitru, Tamil undayitru. So came up, appeared, was created. Ajanishta. Ajanishta is a special verb, which is a past tense verb with what we call past perfect tense. Therefore, Ajanishta means born, B-O-R-N, was born. So from whose navel the whole universe was born. Tat anyaha kaha. Tat is what we call ablative case word. From whom? Sorry, from you. Tat is from you. So tat is what we call Panchami Vibhakti. Tamil Aindam Vetrumai. Other than you also means other than you. So here you can say than you. So tat than you, anyaha kaha. Who else is there? Kaha who, anyaha else. So who else is there except you, other than you? So ummai vida where you are, then ivalahai krantva. So imam again this word, this imam is this. So this means this universe. Krantva meaning in the Trivikramavataaratil, after after appearing as Vamana, he begged Mahabali Chakravarti. You can say he begged, not he sought after. He did not appeal. He begged literally Mahabali Chakravarti. And therefore, Later, as you know, he took the incarnation of Trivikrama, the Ongi Olahalanda Uttaman. So Trivikrama, so he made 3 steps. Tredhanida Padam. So the Suktam Purusha Suktam says, Tredhanida Padam. I told you earlier, whenever we stop our chanting scriptures because of some good reason or even bad reason, we will have to expiate our bad action, that is committing sins. We have to atone for the sin committed by interrupting in our chanting, our own interruption in the chanting. We remember Vamana Avatar. Idam Vishnur Vichakrame, Idam Vishnur Vichakrame, Redhanidadhe Padam, Samodhamasya Pagum Sure. These 3 lines we say, and then continue, restart the chanting of the scripture. Trivikrama Avatara is very important. And though we know that though 3 feet were sought after, begged from Mahabali Chakravarti, Mahabali Chakravarti was so haughty that his pride had to be put down, and therefore Lord made only 2 strides, 2 steps. 7 worlds at a time, 2 times 7 worlds, 14 worlds. Then for the third step, there was no space. But the Vamana Avatara was so small in size. It was a dwarf-like, very sharp person. But showing his 2 feet, 2 small feet, he asked for 3 feet, 3 steps of the world. But Mahabali Chakravarti could not satisfy his what we call demand, because when Mahabali Chakravarti was performing Ashwamedha Yaga or Vishwajit Yaga, as we say, Vishwajit Yaga, he wanted to win over the whole world. Then he has to meet the demands of anybody who comes to the yaga, the sacrifice. He has to attend to the needs of, he has to cater to the needs of whatever somebody asks, one must give. So otherwise his sacrifice is incomplete. And therefore Mahabali Chakravarti was made to fail. That's all. That was the reason why there is a principle behind that. So third step he could not find. Therefore it is wrong to say that third step was on his head. No. So Mahabali Chakravarti was blessed by the divine foot of the Lord in order to say that he has also become a great devotee. So just like Ravana was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So after measuring the entire universe, Krantva, Alandum, Nigiriya, Avantara Pralayatil Vizhungiyum. So for every Kalpa there is a gap, for every Chatur Yuga there is a big gap, and between 2 yugas, namely the Krita, Dwapara, Krita, Treta, Dwapara and Kali, between 2 yugas, yuga meaning 2, yuga meaning joining. So between 2 joints, we have Pralayam. So Pralayam in the sense deluge, and that is what we call Avantara Pralayam, intermediate deluge. So what happens is after Krita Yuga, all the entire universe goes into his stomach and comes back in the next Yuga, Treta. Then you find Rama Avatara there in Dwapara Yuga, Krishna Avatara, important incarnation. Then you have Kali Yuga where we are living. Nigiriya meaning vomiting out, bringing it out. Sorry, Vizhungiyum, he swallowed him. So Nigiriya swallowed. Girya is vomiting it out, getting it out. Then Punaha Udgirati. Udgirati, Punaha again, Udgirati. So he spits it out. Very simple. Then what I mean to say, spitting out is not in a bad sense, but spitting it out slowly the universe is created again, recreated again. So he just brings them out. Punaha again, Udgirati, Ud, so Ud is up, so comes up, the universe comes up. Deshaha, this world, Kenava. The question is why is or why also becomes a question. The tag, question tag. So va, where evanal, Paravaniti Talavana Udayadendru, Shakya Shankaha. Shankar Sandeha Padavum Kudi. Now, can we say that this world, whole universe belongs to somebody else other than Lord Sriman Narayana? That means Paravan. Paravan meaning the whole world is under the control of somebody else. No, it is not. So another meaning of the word Paravan is Parabrahma, namely the highest supreme being, namely Lord Sriman Narayana. Therefore, the whole world belongs to him. His property is the world. So Yesha has this property. So Kena Paravan. So this whole universe is dependent. That is the meaning of the word Paravan. So many shades of meaning. So Paravan, you take the first meaning. Lord possesses the property, namely the universe. Paravan. Another meaning is the whole universe is dependent on the Lord Sriman Narayana. That is the beauty in Sanskrit. And then who will doubt about it? Shakya Shankaha. Shakyam, possible. Shanka, doubt. Shanka, doubt as well as fear. Bhayam, Sandehaha. Both of the words that all of us are familiar, almost familiar. Bhayam and Sandeha. Bhayam is Napumsakalinga word. Sandeha is a pullinga word, masculine gender word. Bhayam is a neutral gender word. So Sandeha is a masculine gender word. Both of them join together and take this single word, which means both, namely Shanka is Strilinga word. Shanka is a feminine gender word. But you take this word, Shakya Shankaha, we are talking about Sriman Narayana, and therefore it is again in pullinga. It's masculine. Rather, with regard to the world, this world is in pullinga, masculine gender. Eshaha, Shakya Shankaha. Is it possible to doubt it? Is it possible to have an apprehension or some doubt to say Lord Sriman Narayana is not the leader of the world? No, it is not possible. Therefore, Kena Shakya Shankaha, who will doubt the property ownership of Sriman Narayana? Nobody will doubt about it. The question is who is the doubting Thomas? But there is no one who doubts. So there is no, it's a clarity is there. All proof is there. Vedaha Pramanam, the scripture is the authority. It is the Shabda Pramanam, word authority. We cannot believe each other. The Veda, the scripture should be believed. And of course, great people's words also should be believed, like Yamunacharya, Ramanujacharya, Nathamuni, Manavala Mamuni, Vedanta Deshika. So we are going to the what we call Avatarika. Avatarika is again you can say introduction. Prelude. So Kasyodare, so in whose stomach? That was the starting point of the verse. Kasyodare. Pramana Anukulamana Tarka Rupa Nyayattale Uktamana Paratvate Nigamikkirar. What Yamunacharya says is scripture. That's what Periyavachan Pillai concludes. Periyavachan Pillai categorically says that Yamunacharya's words are scriptures. That is why we say Nigamikkirar. Nigamaha meaning scripture. So Yamunacharya's words are scriptures. We have to believe him. There are two types of methods by which these questions are answered in the positive, and the common answer is Lord Sriman Narayana for all these questions. Why? How? There are two methods. One, so Pramana Anukulam. The authorities, the sources are favorable, or you can say favorite sources. Favorite source. Tarka Rupa Nyayam. Tarka Rupam, Tarka is logic. Tarka is Nyaya. Nyaya is, Tarka itself is Nyaya. Nyaya is, it's a kind of philosophy, as you know. So Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Vedanta, Purva Mimamsa, Sankhya, and Yoga. These are 6 darshanas. These 6 darshanas are pramanas, the authority to establish that Lord Sriman Narayana is the source of all the world. So Tarkarupa Nyayatale, by argument, you can say, Tarka is argument, by discussion, you can establish the truth. That is Nyaya. Nyayam is justice, as we understand. Here it is philosophical truth. And already Yamunacharya has been writing many books like Siddhitrayam and of course Chatusloki, plus of course Gita Sangraha. So everywhere he wants to establish the supremacy of Lord Sriman Narayana, and he does it here too. Tasyodare. So let's go to the commentary, Vyakhyanam, explanation. Tasyodare Haravirinchi Mukha Prapanchaha. All the objects, Sakala Padarthangalum, Brahma Rudra Mukhamana Sakala Padarthangalum, Mahapralayatile, Arudeya Pakkalile Laitirikkirathu. Now, you can say even Lord Brahma, the four-faced creator, and Rudra, Lord Shiva, these are also the objects, are also objects, useful objects. Padarthaha. Padarthaha, there are two meanings. Meaning of the word is Padarthaha. Padavarai we say in Tamil. Padarthaha is meaning of the word, Padarthaha. And another meaning is Padarthaha meaning objects, things. So Sakala Padarthaha, everything meaning every creation. Mahapralayatile, Mahapralaya meaning the great deluge is after Chaturyuga, after 4 eras. So Krita, Treta, Dwapara, Kali, then you have the end of the 4 yugas, and that is what we call Mahapralaya, great deluge. Where does this universe go? That's a question. So it goes to Arude Pakkalile. You need not go into the stomach. It is just by the side of the Lord. Pakkalile. Light irikkirathu. You can also say he has gone into, the universe has gone into, all the creations have gone into the body of the Lord. 148. Sat eva saumya idam agra asi. It's a conversational like sentence. Saumya. Sadeva saumya idam agra asi. So Sat eva, Sat is permanently existing object is called Sat. And that is Lord Sriman Narayana. Sat meaning it never ceases to exist. It never stops to exist. So always truth. Sat, Chit, Anandam, Satchidanandam. So Sat is ever existent object. Nityam we say, Nityam. It also means what we call sentient objects. So like us, Chit. So Sat also is full of knowledge, wisdom. That is the meaning of the word goodness. Goodness. Goodness includes knowledge, wisdom. So Satyeva, Somya, Idam Agrasi. So previously, that is before the creation, what was there? If you ask the question, there is only one. That one is God, and God is Almighty, and that is Simanara. So idam this, idam meaning idam Brahma, idam Sat, eva agra asit. Agra earlier, asitu was. So Dviparardha kalam nama rupangalai ilandu. The Parardha has got a significant number. Just forget. So Dviparardha is double the Parartha. So Parartha is a very long time of 4 yugas combined together. So Dviparardha will be 8 yugas. After that, so what happens is we lose our names and shape. Nama Rupangalai Ilan. All the creations give up their names. So no name is there, no name continues after 8 yugas. So Rupam also, the form also, the figure, the shape, so everything is lost. Then again he names us. Nama Rupe Karavani. Scripture says Nama Rupe Karavani. Let me again name them. And let me also give them a shape. So 149. Tamaha Eki Bhavati. Tama, I think Tam Eki Bhavati. So Eki Bhavati has become one. The entire creation has become what we call amalgamated into one object. That's all. Tam Eki Bhavati Angavadiye, Sarveshwaran Pakkalile Kirakirabadi. The whole universe is by the side of the Lord. By the side of the the highest leader. Highest leadership. So 150. So Brahma Adishu Pralineshu Nashte Loke Chara Achare Abhuta Samplave Prapte Praline Prakrito Mahan Ekaha Tishtati Vishwatma Sahatu Narayana Prabhu. So this only explains the dissolution of the universe, and only one existed permanently, namely Lord Sriman Narayana. So Narayana Prabhu, last 2 words. Sahatu Narayana Prabhu. He was Narayana, he is Narayana, the Lord, Vishwatma, in the form, the soul of the universe, in the form of the universe. There is the whole universe is the form of the Lord, the Vishwatma. Ekaha, only one. Tishtati, you can say stays, stands, lives, exists. So there is only one, and that is Lord Sriman Narayana, who is in the universal form, and his name is Narayana, and he is the Lord of the world. When did he stand alone? So Brahmadishu Pralineshu Nashte Loke Chara Achare. Loke, the world, Chara Achare, where immovable and movable beings are there, sentient and insentient beings are there. Starting with Brahma, the creator, Pralineshu, when they have joined together and joined the Lord, Pralineshu, they have actually disappeared. Pralineshu. All creators, all gods, along with the leader creator, they have become one with them. Nashte Loke, the world is lost. Charachare, the world which is full of moving objects and non-moving objects. Then Abhuta Samplave Prapte Praline Prakrito Maha. The whole deluge, at the time of deluge, so water everywhere. So Samplavaha, flood. So Abhuta Samplavaha, advancing flood. Prapte Praline Prakrito Maha. In matter, in the matter of matter, namely Prakrito, in Prakriti, I mean the whole natural atmosphere, Mahan, a great Praline, it has become what we call invisible. So the whole universe, the whole creation has become invisible. Then you find that only one was there, that he stood his ground, we say. So he is in the universal form, his name is Narayana, and he is the master. Meaning Ekaha Tishtati, meaning he is unique in nature. He is extraordinary in nature. Nobody can equal him. Na bhuto na bhavishyati. Na tat samaha, na tat abhyadikaha. All these are all words in some scriptures. So there is no one equal to him. There is no one beyond him. There is no one who can surpass him. There is no one who can overcome him. There is no one who can excel him. And therefore, so Prakrito Mahan. So in the nature, in the world without creation, a big man, a big being, what you call the highest being there, and he is called Vishwatma Narayana Prabhu. Ityadi Samharadhigalale Samharadhigalile Garmi Bhavikkumidathil Brahmadhigalodu Pipilikadigalodu Vashi illai. So as a portfolio of Lord Shiva is Samharaha, destruction. I think we can also take it in the positive sense. The whole universe has been said as earlier in the same page, Eki Bhavati, becomes solidified into one, rejoined into as one object. Therefore, Samhara also means that. Samhara, a collection. Samhara also means destruction. So when Lord Shiva's portfolio is destruction, so Garmi Pavikmidati. So when it becomes hot, that means everything is killed, everything is finished. Then when they become hot, Brahmadigalodu, hot in the sense there is no shape of any object. Everything is in different form. So Brahmadigalodu, Pipiliyadigaladu, Vashi. There is no difference between an ant and Lord Brahma. Small ant, Pipilika. Yeah, an ant, Tamil Erumbu. Erumbukum Brahmavukum வித்தியாசம் இல்லை. எறும்பு எவ்வளவு சின்னதா இருக்கோ அதே மாதிரி பிரம்மாவும் சின்னதா. Brahma is nothing before Lord. So also Shiva. Just like ant is very insignificant, Lord Creator is also very insignificant compared to the whole creation of universe. Again, I think we are going up. Haravirinchi ko rakshati. Now the question is, who protects? So Haravirinchi Mukamana, this little more up. Kamana Prapanchate Rakshikirara. The question is, who is saving, who is protecting, who is taking care of the whole world? Starting with the Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. 151. Nahi Palana Samarthyam Rite Sarveshwaram Hari. The quotation must have a source. The skill of taking care, the skill of administration, Palana Samarthyam Rite. So without the skill of administration, so Palana Samarthyam Rite Sarveshwaram Harim Nahi. There is no other person except the Lord who can take care of, who can administer properly the entire universe. There is no one except the Lord. Nahi Sarveshwaram Hari. Then 152. Na sampadam samahare vipadam minivartane. When all the entire universe becomes a single object. So samahare na sampadam. We cannot understand the value. Sampat meaning wealth. So sampadam samahare. When you collect all the wealth, in the sense all the creation, there is no difference. There is no difference that it makes. Vipadam vinivartan. When there is a danger, when there are some negative aspects, even when they are withdrawn, vinivartani, meaning uh, Lord Lord Shiman Narayana is neither affected by the destruction or the creation. That's the meaning. So Ajanishta Kasya Nabehe, Mahapralayatile Abhibhaktamai Kidakum Prapancham, Yarude Kuchinindum Utpannamayitu, Mahabharate Markandeya Samakhyane. The question is, the world was born. The said Ajanishta Kasya Nabehe. So it was born from the navel of the Lord. That means just like Lord Brahma, the universe also came out of the belly of the Lord. Therefore, Mahapralayatile Abhibhaktamai Kidakum Prapancham. So in the deluge, great deluge or our intermediate deluge, the whole creation is not identifiable by the figure or the name. And when it came out of the Lord's belly, Lord is very small in size, and so within his belly, the whole universe is there, or the whole universe has him as his form. Then Mahabharate Markandeya Samakhyani, in the great epic Mahabharatam. So Markandeya Samakhyani, in the story that was said by Markandeya, Srujatastasya Devasya Padmam Surya Samaprabham Nabher Ministratam Tasya Tatrotpanna Pitamaha. You can easily understand some many words here. So Pitamaha is the name of the Lord. Pitamaha. Pitamaha is grandfather. Father's father is called Pitamaha. But though Mahavishnu begot Brahma, Brahma begot Shiva, and so on, Narayanan Nanmahanai Padaithan. Nanmahanum Tanmahanai Shankaranai Padaithan. This is the Alvar Prabandham. So Srujataha Tasya Devasya. So when the Lord has been creating Padmam Surya Samaprabham, a lotus which has brightness as bright as the sun, Surya Samaprabham. We always say Koti Surya Samaprabham. So Nabher Vinisratam Tasya Tatrotpanna Pitamaha. The single lotus which was very bright as the sun, gave rise to or gave birth to Lord of creation. Nabhehe Vinisratam, which came out of the navel, Tasya Tatrotpannaha. Tasya is Shivan Narayanasya, of Shivan Narayana. Tatra there, that means in the navel, Utpannaha, born, created, Pitamaha, the grandfather, namely Lord Brahma. Lord of creation came out of the belly through this flower, lotus flower. So Suparna Vaikuntha Samvadi. So we have in Mahabharata a portion called Markandeya Samakhyanam. Markandeya Maharishi is telling the story. There was an argument between two people, Suparna and Vaikuntha. Samvade, there was a healthy argument between the two. 154. So in that particular portion where Suparna and Vaikuntha are arguing with each other in conversation, and we have Markandeya Maharishi's explanation in Mahabharata. 154. Yat tat padmam abhuta purvam. Sorry, padmam abhut purvam tatra brahma vijaya. Brahmanaschapi sambhutaha Shiva iti avadharyatam. Shiva skandha sambabhuva etat srishti chatushtayam. Yat tat padmam abhut purvam. What became lotus? Tatra Brahma Vijayata. Lord of creation was born in that lotus flower. Brahmanaschapi sambhutaha. So from Lord of creation, namely Narayan, Nanmugan. So Nanmuganum Tanmuganai Shankarani Paditan. Sambhutaha Shivaha iti avadharyatam. Lord Brahma was born in the lotus flower which came out of the belly, and so Brahmanaschapi sambhutaha Shivaha iti avadharyatam. Please understand that Shiva was created by Lord Brahma. Shivat is Skandaha. So from Lord Shiva, you know the sun. So Skandaha meaning Murugan we say in Tamil. So Kartikeyaha we say. Skandaha. Shivat is Skandaha Sambhavu. Though he is young and Vinayaka is older, so young are preferred. So Shivat Skandaha Sambhavuva. So he was born. So etat srishti chatushtaya. This is what we call fourfold creation. Four types of creation.
Wanted to ask, is a particular Vaishnava Sampradaya which says that other Vaishnava Sampradayas, including Sri Sampradaya, only concentrate upon Sriman Narayana, God's Aishwarya, rather than his Madhurya, and that we hardly ever touch upon the Madhurya or the sweetness of the Lord. We only concentrate about his opulence and his greatness and his power and his might, and no one can surpass him. But we hardly ever speak about, how sweet he is and the relations he has with, his devotees, etc. And that they consider Madhurya to be greater than Aishwarya. How would you retort such a comment?
Would you put it in black and white message so that?
I think Keshava Swami might be able to translate it for me.
Swami,
I was typing it up.
Swami, what he's saying is that there are some North Indian sampradayas. They speak about God's loving nature, more than his majestic nature. And but I think here this particular verse is talking about the creation and is talking about his majestic nature. So we can't expect one verse to speak about every different aspect of his Kalyana Gunas. So this particular verse is speaking about the creation. So I don't see that it's necessary to speak about all the different aspects of his gunas, his qualities, in one verse. So here, this particular verse is about the creation. So my question is that there are other sampradayas, and they're saying that you Sri Vaishnavas, you're only speaking about Aishwarya. You're only speaking about the Lord's leadership and the Lord's opulence and Vaikuntham, but you're not talking about the Lord when he comes as Krishna. He is just a simple boy in Gokulam, herding the cows. This is very sweet, and we speak about the sweetness only because we feel this is more important than the Aishwarya, than him being the creator.
To put both your words in very simple terms, Paratvam and Saulabhyam. These are the two words that both of you are discussing. Paratvam is when he leadership. That is what we call even sometimes inaccessibility of the Lord. Because he is very great, and we are very small, and we also tend to think that we cannot go near him, and we cannot worship him. So now the second point, which Savalabhyam, which Govindacharya has come out with, his loving nature, and his loving nature. Definitely, we understand through the Shastras and scripture, means Shastra meaning including scripture, the Acharya's statement, many works of the preceptors, we understand he is most loving. He is lovable and he is also most loving. But suppose that we have problems, then we sometimes scold him that we have not been blessed as we expect him to do. And of course, that is karma theory is there. So I do good deeds, therefore I enjoy. I do bad deeds, therefore I suffer. And of course, these two aspects are combined into one, and then we blame the Lord. We never blame the Lord for our happiness. You have given me so much happiness. Therefore, I am not able to even contain my happiness. Rather, even enjoy my happiness. It is Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க, அது ஈஸியா சொல்லுவாங்க. When you go on eating the sweets, தமிழ்ல சொல்ற திகட்டுதல் சொல்லுவாங்க. சக்கரை பொங்கல் இருக்கு, சக்கரை பொங்கல். When you start eating a lot, there is a method of putting down the sweetness there. Jadikainu or kai, jadikai. There is a small seed. So we add that, and then whenever you take the chakare pongal, the sweet meat we say, so jaggery mixed rice, you will never have any what do you call it, hatred for it. You go on eating further. That is the tihattudal we say in Tamil. So we never get disgusted with, oh, I have done, I mean, I have taken enough sweets. I cannot take more. So every time when you see the sweet, your saliva increases, and then you have your taste. You want to taste it again and again. That should be the. So here, the Lord is such a person. Lord is such a person, and Lord loves the creation because He has created the entire universe. He has to love. He has to take care. But he is willingly taking care. He knows everything, and therefore, because his knowledge, wisdom is vast, and therefore is complete. Therefore, he is able to show his love. Because all the individuals are different, the souls are different, the things, inanimate things are different, and still he shows love to all the people, almost equally. But he says, Name Bhaktaha me Priyaha. Bhaktaha me Priya. A devotee will be more loved by Lord. Naturally, as we do here. So when we help each other, we respect each other. In the same, but there is no partiality in the case of the Lord. That's where we differ from him. We have some partiality towards some people. We love more some people. We love less some people, and also we hate some people more. We hate some people less, and there is also neutral attitude also. Neither we love nor we hate. But whereas there is no hatred at all in the case of Lord, and that is what the North Indian Sampradayas stress upon as the loving nature of the Lord. And of course, we are interested in getting the benefits from Him. We want to be happy somehow. We will have to worship Him deeply. Though He is above all, though He is beyond our imagination, beyond our thinking. And we also have some fear that whether we can approach Him or not, and then we can. Today, I had the great luck of worshipping Lord Sriman Ranganatha and Ranganayika with the help of my Shishya student who is a butter there, Bhattacharya. His name is Aravind. So he took us both straight into the Sanctum Sanctorum when there was a very big queue of thousands of people standing, rather envying our or feeling jealousy towards our southern entry. And when we went very near the Lord, Nampermal and Perifermal, and then there was another butter which whom Keshadas knows very well, Sundar Bhattar, a very smiling Bhattacharya. He said, Aravinda Anugraham உங்களுக்கு கட்டாட்சம் கிடைச்சது. He meant in two ways. Aravinda is the name of the butter. Aravindaksha is the name of the Lord. Aravinda Kataksham Pattadu. Tamarayanude Kataksham. The lotus eye of the Lord gave you the blessing that you can see him in Corona period time. So that was so when he said to Pasuram, Pachima Malemol Meni Pavala Kamala Changan, and then you have one more he said. So he was saying, I said the Bhagavad-dhyana Sopanam Padam Bhojam Sprushati Bhajate Ranganathasya Jangham Urudvande Vilagati Shanehi Urdha Bheti Nabhim Vakshasyaste Valati Bhujayor Mamikeyam Manisha Vaktrabhikyam Pibati Vakate Vasanam Mauli Bande. The Kapapi description from foot to head of Lord Sriman Ranganatha. And I was also worried about not seeing the Prayoga Chakram, Agneya Chakram, namely the Sudarshana Chakram on his right hand because of the garlands adorning the Lord. So I was interested in looking at the Paduka. That is where we have to fall down, under which we have to fall down. So here, what are the divine experience is, of course, indescribably beautiful, but at the same time, the practical vision. The student took me, and on the previous day he came home, prostrated before me. He said, because you are teaching me, were teaching me in the college and also teaching me Parameshwara Samhita, the procedure of worship of Ranganatha. He is very good in his subject. He understands his position very well. And today it is not his. Today it is his turn to worship, to do Thiruvaradhanam of Lord Ranganatha, and therefore he took me there. He came here for 1 week, and then because I returned from Karapangad village only yesterday, he could take me today. Why the loving nature of the Lord is shown by his calling me and giving me the vision. That is so it is not easily understood also, because we say Paravasudeva at the Vimanam, and down Peri Perumal has been worshipped by, starting with the Brahma, and then Vivaswan, the sun god, the 14 Manus, all the kings of the solar rays. Vibhishana was about to take it. Rama gifted him. All this should come into the mind, and then afterwards Rama took the idol of Chelva Pillai of Melkot, and therefore he is called Ramapriya, as I told you earlier. So all this should come into the mind quickly within. He said to me, he will make me stand there for 10 minutes. but it was only 5 minutes because the entire crowd will be objecting to our presence. What I mean to say, in case of our quick entry to the Lord's place, we also are actually committing sins of what we call the making other devotees unhappy. This fellow is going very fast, and then so it is Bhagavad Apacharam is a part of our worship, and therefore you have to. Nothing can be done about it. Why that is it. So in case of Ranganayika, it was easy cakewalk. It was free. Many people are not there because of Monday. Because of this, today was Monday. Why is it? There you find that in the Shastras also we say see Mahalakshmi is more considerate, more pitiful, more compassionate, more merciful than the Lord. And Parashara Bhatta experienced it. He said, when somebody is going on the road near the sanctum sanctorum of Ranganayika on the north Uttara street of Srirangam, he said, Kasmaichit Anjali Baram, to someone, Kasmaichit. He just made a small Anjali. He closed his two palms and then didn't come into the sanctum sanctorum, and then he passed on the road. He just crossed the road. Ranganayika thinks when he is doing this Anjali casually, I have not blessed him enough. Na uchitam kritam iti atha amba lajjase katham koyam udara bhavaha. Your magnanimous disposition is so great that even for the one who has just casually closed his palms, not in really in salutation towards you, just passed crossed over the Sannidhi, and for him you are making a lot of blessing. You are giving him blessing, and you also think that enough has not been given to him. And granting the favors is not enough. So all these come into our mind when you go and worship. So what Govindachari was trying to ask me is how do we understand his loving nature, and how do we understand his paratvam also, the inaccessibility, because he is very great. And today we have some bad news also about some countries getting affected more, like Russia, France, and so on. And at the same time, India is trying to come out of the shackles of Corona. Again, this is a game of the Lord, and we cannot understand him also. I think further, this is in the context of how do we love him? How do we reciprocate his love? Are we doing it enough? Are we grateful? That is the question here. And it's not a question of a report or complaint that he has not done much to me. That's the.
So Swami, just thank you. Getting back to this whole question in the verse about creation. It's explaining about the creation. So the Lord is lying in in the Karanadaka Ocean, and from his navel comes a lotus, and on the lotus is born Brahma. But okay, my understanding was that the lotus is born from the navel of Garbhadakshay Vishnu. So, okay, so in creation, there are different Purushas. There's a Karanadakshay Vishnu and a Garbhadakshay Vishnu. The Karanadakshay Vishnu, does he have a lotus or not from his navel? I thought it was only the Garbhadakshay Vishnu that has the lotus.
Lotus is there.
So there's an original Purusha from the universes are emanating from his body. Different universes, many universes are coming. So there's one Shastra of Gaudiyas that says those universes are coming out like bubbles coming out from the Romakupa, from the hair follicles. They're coming out, very small bubbles, and then they grow in size. Then the Lord enters inside as a Garbhadakshay Vishnu, second Vishnu. So Karanadakshay Vishnu, then Garbhadakshay Vishnu, inside one universe. From the navel of Garbhadakshay Vishnu comes a lotus, and Brahma is born on that lotus, the Brahma for that universe. And from the mind of Brahma, Manasikaputra, is created Rudra or Shiva. So but this first Purusha doesn't have a lotus coming from his navel.
The Gaudiya figure.
I'm just asking, this is the way Gaudiyas portray it. In the Karanadakshay Vishnu, does he have a lotus coming from his navel or not? Because
the lotus is there. Lotus is there.
From both Karanadakshay and Garbhadakshay.
Yeah.
So from Karanadakshay Vishnu's lotus, navel lotus, what is born on that? But because it is outside of the universe.
That is why that is a period where Brahma also gets into the deluge of, or rather the creation is dissolved.
Right, at the deluge of a universe, the universe enters back into the body of the Lord.
So Brahma, Shiva, and all others lose their shape and name.
And then they say that the Atman, the Jivas, they stay inside the body of the Lord in Shushupti.
Yeah.
In a type of deep sleep.
Yeah. Slumber. Yeah.
Yeah, and that period of time is equal to the period of time of the universe. That is also a long period of time inside, or is it a short period of time?
It should be a short period of time.
So all the universes are dissolved and go back into Karanadakshay Vishnu. But you were talking about the yuga is changing, different yugas. This is a small destruction. This is not a big. It's not a Mahapralaya.
Intermediary deluge.
Yeah. So the intermediary deluge between one yuga and another yuga, Brahma doesn't die at that point. That is within Brahma's life.
He lives for kalpa koti kalaha. For 1 crore kalpa he is there. Afterwards, there is the dissolution of Brahma.
Right. So
another Brahma comes.
So right now, when we say in the Sankalpa that Dvitiya Paradi, we are in the second half of Brahma's life. So Brahma is middle aged. He is 50 years old or whatever, in his terms. But still, our yugas are going on and on and on. But he is only getting a little bit older. So there's a small pralaya at the end of each yuga, and then there's a bigger pralaya at the end of Chatur Yuga,
Right.
Kalpa. And then there's a very big pralaya when even Brahma and Shiva all go back, and the whole universe goes back into the body of
Lose their identity. Yeah.
yeah. So it's a little bit hard to keep context of all these things. So there are many universes. There are many universes, and there are many Brahmas and many Shivas also in these universes. And we are only concerned with our particular universe. But the Lord in the Karanadak ocean, he is creating all the universes. But so here when it talks about the creation, it's speaking about the creation of this universe, or it's speaking about the bigger creation of all universes?
The bigger creation of all the universe.
I see. Okay.
Because I mean, when you calculate the time, it is beyond the calculation. And we say crores and crores of Brahma were there, and not for a single one.
So you're saying when all the universes go back into the body of Karanadaksha Vishnu, that time before new universes come out, that is supposed to be a short time?
That's a short time.
That's a short time. That's not a long time. And also between the yugas, I have heard that there is something called Yuga Sandhi, that at the end of one yuga and the beginning of another yuga, there is a twilight, like a time like dawn or twilight, where there is some qualities of one yuga are coming to the other yuga, like the Battle of Kurukshetra. There was some bad practices of Kali Yuga also coming into there, like lying and cheating occurring, but still it was previous yuga.
No, we call it from one birth to next birth. In Mahabharata, Shikhandini became Shikhandi in order to win over Bhishma. What we call transmigration of a soul, and that is called Vakrokti Marga. In Sanskrit, it's called Vakrokti Marga. It's of course it's a different type of road, different type of birth, and actually Shikhandini made an oath that she will kill Bhishma in the next birth.
So that brings
such examples are in Galore, in a particular book called Bana Bhatta's Kadambari. If you look and read so what you call the China box. It's like a China box, a box within the box. And if I tell you the story, some people get confused. Some people try to understand how it happens. There's only a transmigration of food. There's a king. The king's son is the hero, and then he has a friend. The friend in the earlier birth he was a parrot. So there's a lot of confusion. Bhagavata has got a contrivance, a beautiful contrivance to weave the story beautifully. And you will find a mix of souls.
So that brings another question. Okay, so if Sikhandi from one was a lady and became a man in the next life to kill Bhishma, so a question is that when a soul takes another body, when a soul dies and goes to another body, normally we understand the system is that the family members are doing the rites so that person is going to go to Pitriloka, and he stays in Pitriloka for some time. and
And come back.
then if all the ceremonies are done correctly, he'll stay in Pitriloka for some time, and then he'll go to the next birth. But other souls, maybe they go to Yamaraj first, and they get judged, and they go to another birth. How long does it take for the soul to go to another birth? Because in the Buddhist tradition, they immediately start looking for the reincarnation within 9 months of the person dying. They look for the Lama to be reincarnated. So is it possible to go to another body immediately, or is somebody going to go to Pitriloka first and then be reincarnated? Is there any particular time that it takes?
There are two possibilities. The soul which leaves the body and the body decays, and it takes the birth immediately. As soon as it leaves one body, it takes another body. That is such a case is there. And you have a soul, as you said, enjoys heaven because of the good deeds, merits, and suffers in the hell for bad deeds, and then come back to the world. That takes some time. And Srimad Bhagavatam can tell us, I'll find out whether it can. I don't know. So time gap, it's a very great description of hell is there. And according to the nature of the bad deeds, one gets suffering in the hell, and as soon as the effect of the sins is over, he is pushed back to the world. Therefore,
So just to be clear, when a person takes the body of an animal, immediately the animal dies. Immediately the animal is going to be reborn, because the animal doesn't. The animal is only. The animal cannot create new karmas. The animal is only working under instinct, and the animal birth is just for getting rid of the karmas. And then so immediately the animal dies, he gets a new body. But a human being has to be judged, and he may have to go to heaven or Pitriloka, or he may have to go to Naraka to suffer. And so that may take some time before he comes again in another body. Is it?
right. I will give you, an example. I think all of us have to either, if not already studied, Kaishika Puranam, where Nampadwan story is there. And there is also another story in which you find a person called Dharmavrata, a king. He was asking a question to a sage, and then he was when he was trying to find out who is doing good deeds. Then you find a lot of births within the story, small story. I'll tell you next session. Every time you go and try to find out that particular soul, the soul is already out of the body. It enters into another body. And now there are two aspects. Number one, suppose a human being, the human birth is the highest birth in this world. Next step is only godhood, becoming what you call Nitya Surya. So one can, by committing lot of sins, one can go into the what you call inferior births. And again, as you said, an animal or a creature, a small creature, insect, can go on improving, and then can attain some more and more perfection and reach this human level also. This is how we also would have come from a lower status to the higher status. And that is because of the merits accrued over many births. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. We all become wise only after many births. So the what you call degradation is also there, then upgradation is also there. But at the time of upgradation or time of degradation is very quick, you can say, quicker than getting up, getting improved. It takes a lot of time. Getting down is very easy. One can commit a lot of blunders and again be born as some creature.
Just like climbing stairs or climbing a ladder, it takes time to go up, but to come down can come down immediately, very quickly. So my question is, though, also I was reading Garbha Upanishad. There's an Upanishad called Garbha Upanishad about the Garbha, and it mentions there that the Jivatman enters the Garbha, the fetus, in the 7th month, Saptama Masam. So before 7th month, the Jivatman is not present in the fetus. This is stated in the Upanishad. But then if we read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the third 50th skanda, that Kapila is explaining about the process of birth, that the egg is fertilized and the fetus begins to grow in the womb of the mother.
Yeah.
So at what point are we do we accept the Shruti, that the Shruti says that the Garbha Upanishad says that the Jiva only enters in the 7th month?
No, the Shruti is talking about the complete development of all the rather sense organs. That is whereas the 4th month, I mean, as you said, from 3 to 4, there is the what you call the
quickening.
There is some what do you call
it's a small, it's small thing.
Spanda, the movement is seen as the life enters into the child's body. You can identify even the gender and the 4th month.
But we do the Pungsavana samskara is done even after that, no?
6th and 8th.
Yeah. So if we can identify the gender of a child before that time, what is the use of praying for a male child after that time?
No, there are 2 points, and by performing your Srimantam, you are not going to change the gender. That is already decided. I was also advised after my first daughter was born. One Brihaspati said, "You had one Srimantam. Another, if you perform another Srimantam, definitely a boy will be born to you." That's what. So I of course
didn't work. It didn't, but it didn't work. Did you do it?
No, I didn't do it. And although this kind of what we call demanding the boon from the Lord is also not right. And many also recommend even today from ancient days Sundarakandam Parayanam, the reading of the recitation of Sundarakandam is meant for especially male child or birth of children. And this is of course according to the what we call destiny, nemesis, fate, and so on. That is. But we have a joke when we say in those days there was a very bad proverb. Kanya Pitrutvam Bahu Nindaniyam. it is not better to have a girl, daughter. So Kanya Pitra, when you are a father of a girl, then Bahu Nindani becomes very difficult to bring the girl up, make her study, get a job, get her married, and so. So this was great difficulty in those days, finding a suitable Kamimba. And then after one girl child is born, we say Putrat Dashagunam Putri. Better than the male child, the female child is 10 times better. Putrat Dashagunam Putri. Again, the second daughter is born, we say Putrat Shatagunam Putri. 100 times the daughter is better than the son. This is how we, of course, get contented, satisfy ourselves.
Okay,
But there are
yeah,
ifs and buts, but as you said, though religious function only confirms the gender, and our expectation is different. The reality is something else.
I understand. So, but my other question is,
there are two types of families. One family wants only girl children because many male children are there already for all the entire family. Another family demands only boys. So I have seen both.
Right. So, but my question has to do with in Dharma Shastras. In Dharma Shastras, if the girl is unmarried after she reaches maturity, it is considered a sin on the father. The father has the sin of garbhapat, of abortion, because he has not married his daughter at a young age. Even though today none of the boys and girls are getting married young, they're all getting married very old. But still, in Shastra, it says that the girl has to be married at a young age because she should not waste the time that she is fertile to have children, right? That is considered to be a sin of garbhapat, equal to garbhapat, abortion. Also, the boy, he should not waste his seed, in some way. That is also considered to be like a abortion. So this, but of course, we don't consider this to be like abortion. But then there is a real possibility when people get mature and they have and they get married. Sometimes there is this abortion. My question is abortion a sin if it occurs before the jiva enters the fetus in the 7th month?
The abortion is always a sin. Whether it is before the safety, before the safe.
Right. But my question is, if a fetus is aborted before there is a jiva, before the jiva enters, in the Garba Upanishad it says the jiva enters in the 7th month. If something is growing inside of somebody, but if there's no jiva, how is it abortion?
When as you know, as all of us know, the sperm joins with the egg. That itself is life. So you need not depend upon Srimad Bhagavatam or Shruti to understand that it is life.
But that is a scientific understanding. But life is always there. Even the sperm itself is living.
Yeah.
So even before conception, there's life. There's always life. Right? We don't see life coming from dead. Life comes from life, always. But the question is, when does that particular jiva enter into the fetus? Because if I have a tumor in my body, and I go to the doctor, and the doctor says that we have to cut this tumor out. That tumor is also growing in my body, but that tumor doesn't have a separate jiva. So I cut the tumor out.
But that is different, and that is different. And today you understand that the doctors advise the mother to abort the baby when the baby seems to develop what we call some handicaps. They could find out whether it is it has got some defects in the system. Therefore, they even advise the mother to ensuring the safety of the mother. They are advised. Deformity in the limbs of the child, and there are, as you said, the sperm is living, the egg is moving, and then 48 hours is the time for joining. There, the gender is decided. The Y and the X chromosomes. If it is XX, it is female, and if it is XY, it is male. And again, what you mean as jiva entering into this is the what we call the ancestral, what we call genetics, the behavioral pattern that the father, the grandfather, grandmother, mother. And those are when inherited. Then, as you said, the jiva is complete. The jivatma is complete. So the jivatma, if it has not inherited those qualities, the sattva, rajas, tamas of the parents and the ancestors, grandparents, then only we consider as jivatma.
Okay,
but even otherwise, abortion is wrong.
Okay, so you're saying. I mean, my understanding is the jivatman, at death, the body is burned, the body decomposes, but the subtle body, there's a shukshma sharira. The jivatman is carried with the shukshma sharira, manasa, hankara, and buddhi, and he's carried by that, and he goes to the next birth with this manasa, with this shukshma sharira. So the jiva enters the new body along with this shukshma sharira. So, but you're saying that when the Garbha Upanishad says the jiva enters the fetus at the 7th month, it means that the shukshma sharira enters, because the jiva usually goes along with the shukshma sharira, which has got the karmas and the impressions, the vasanas from previous births, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to understand the jiva with the shukshma sharira enters into the fetus at the 7th month, according to the Upanishad. According to the Bhagavatam, the fetus is growing, and even the Upanishad said the fetus is growing, and there are so many things at each month. There are so many things which come, right? But it is not, the jiva doesn't enter till the 7th month. So I'm just trying to understand. You're explaining everything in terms of DNA and chromosomes and things and scientific understanding. How do we square the scientific understanding with the shastric understanding? How do we reconcile those two things? Because they seem to be different.
And the Srimad Bhagavatam is to be taken as the authority because it is in detail of the Shruti statement. We say Garbhopanishad. Which Veda has got the Garbhopanishad?
Okay, so maybe what I should do is maybe I should show you the Sanskrit, and if there's a commentary, you can look at the commentary, and because it's sort of interesting to me that there would be a difference between the seemingly like there's a difference. Actually, if we look at the Bhagavatam, that section also, I don't see in the Mula Bhagavatam any real mention that the Jivatman enters the fetus at that time, at the time of conception. So, but at the same time, scientifically, we know that there is always life. Even before conception, there's life. So there's always life. But is it a separate life? Because that the jiva means there's a separate life. The father has a life, the mother has a life before conception. And they combine and they make a new life. But that new life only comes, according to Shastra, in the 7th month. So anyway, I'll send you the scripture, and then you can tell me if I'm misunderstanding or how it can be reconciled with scientific understanding, modern understanding.
Yeah, once I saw a research thesis where this development of embryo has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam in English. I saw a thesis, actually adjudicated a thesis, and then exactly. But my question is, Garbhopanishad, which scripture we can say it must be either Atharva Veda or some. If the source is seen, then we can understand whether it is whether that particular Upanishad is in consonance with some other Upanishad.
So it just this, in the same way that I told you about the Sharabha Upanishad, is that there are Shaiva Upanishads, and some Shaiva Upanishads we don't accept them. So some Upanishads are accepted more than others, just like there are Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic Puranas.
Right.
Okay. So yeah. So let's look at that, and I'll let you know. So Govindacharya also wanted to ask about, you mentioned about chanting Idam Vishno Vichakrame Tredani Dade Padam after we make a mistake, or if we say something else, if we have some logic interruption in chanting, then to start again, we first chant Idam Vishno Vichakrame, and it has to do with the Trivikram avatar.
So Swami, does that mean, okay, is this only in like homas, or is this also in Parayanam? And if it's in Parayanam, once you chant it, do you just continue from where you stopped off even though you have interruption? And isn't it also if you commit some like mistake or you pronounce something wrongly that you can also do it?
In every what you call orthodox religious action, like what you call Aradhanam, Puja, your Parayanam, whatever be your Parayanam, Srimad Ramayanam, Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam is not rather continuous. Take for example Stotra Parayanam, any devotional song. I start a stotra on Mahalakshmi, Sri Stuti, Manati, Tappati, then I talk with somebody else, then again continue. Then again everything, whether it is scripture or not, whether any prayer, if you stop and restart, then again continue, then you have to ask for excuse, and that is. It is not a question of only chanting scriptures. We say this Idam Vishnu Jack. For any Aradhana is very important. If a guest comes, you have to stop the Aradhanam and invite him, entertain him, extend hospitality to him, and then continue. There also you mention Idam Vishnu Jack. It's not a question of excusing the guest or excusing.
So I think also what he's asking is, if we're doing a Radhanam, Tiravaradhanam, and there are different stages in Tiruvaradanam. There's a mantrasana, snanasana, alankarasana. And do we need, if we make an interruption in the middle of alankarasana, do we have to go back to the beginning of alankarasana, or do we have to go back to the beginning of the Radhana if there's an interruption?
As you say this, we are excused. Then we go to the further, you go further. Don't go back.
So just start from where we left off. Yeah, I think there's Tirumalasai Alwar. There's a story about him that he knew the place where the Brahmins had stopped their chanting, right? And he broke a piece of rice to give them with his finger to give them a hint of where they should start again.
Paddy.
Yeah, he broke a paddy, and then they understood where they have to start the Divya Prabandha Parayanam again. So I think
now the point is, Govindacharya's question, the point is concentration is disturbed. The orientation of your mind in one God, when it is disturbed, then you have to ask for it. That's all. That is the story.
Someone is mentioning the place where that occurred, that Leela of Tirumala Sayawa is Perumpuliyur. Puliyur.
Perumpuliyur, yeah.
Perumpuliyur. Thank you very much, Swami. And so did you want to just tell us about just a quick explanation about your Samprokshanam experience? Because we all saw you on YouTube, and we were very happy to see you doing Parayanam for Perumal there. And can you tell us something about your experience?
Are you patient enough to just for 2 minutes? The decision to go to Karapangad Gram village was all of a sudden, and that is Satvika Tyaga, it is Anena Atmana Katra Karayati Sma. The previous day we proposed, and taxi was available, taxi for hiring was available in our own complex. That is the beauty. I want you to understand that blessing. It was heavily raining while we traveled, very heavily raining. And in spite of it, of course, we were assured that a good driver is there, a Sarathi, driver. Of course, we have been talking. We reached half an hour late, and Ankurarpanam waited for us. That is the beauty there. Ankurarpanam was set to start at 4 o'clock. We reached that by 4:15, and when we got ready to go to the temple, it was 4:30. And the Ankurarpanam started only after we reached the temple.
What is Ankurarpanam?
Ankurarpanam is what we call sowing a seed for the entire function called Samprokshanam. Ankura meaning a sprout. Arpana means submission. So submission of the sprout, in the sense, we start the initial proceedings for the sake of the anointment of the entire temple. The Molavar, what you call the main idol within the Sanctum Sanctorum, was covered, and the Utsavar, what you call the festival idol, has been taken out, what we call as Balalayam. Balalayam is a smaller Sanctum Sanctorum, which they were placed, what we call Sridevi, Bhudevi, and Abhishtavarda. And separately Perandevi Nayaka, Mahadevi Nayaka, separately Perandevi Taya. Now, in my part was, as soon as they started, many people started the Tennatari Sampradaya started the Prabandha Parayanam. We decided to have Bhagavatam and Ramayana, but of course Bhagavatam was very totally complete, and Ramayana I had to restrict myself to the Dhyana slokas. So the hope, because the Bhagavatam itself took the toll, and as we went there, many of us were not able to sit down because of the age, and one of them was so old. 90-year-old people were sitting down. The 70-year-old people were not able to sit down. 60. So one of them had a moda, I think Delhi moda, I was searching for a moda after the first session. So I had it. I got it. And even if the people mistake me for my not sitting on the floor, I have to ask them excuse me. So now comfortably making a parayana of Srimad Bhagavatam, I had some answers to our sessions. The question is to Pauranika and Shukacharya from Parikshit. Shiva is God, and Vishnu is God, Brahma is God. Then what is the difference among them? And who is higher than this, the other? So there is a chapter on that. I will tell you some interesting points. Sometimes many people will get annoyed because of the difference of status. So when we say somebody, there was a comment like this: a non-believer of God is better than a person who is abusing one God and praising another God. That is also. The second day, I had the fortune of holding the silver umbrella, because the gold umbrella was heavier. So I can hold for some time and transfer it to someone else. So again, on the third day, the chamara, the chauri, the fan, I could use it for the what we call circumambulation, projection of the Lord throughout. Now, beyond that, the hospitality was very good. Actually, to tell you the truth, there were only 2 meals a day, and all were only rice. I didn't take coffee normally because I don't take coffee. Coffee was supplied. Now, why this is what I think discussing just now. Asking for excuse by idam Vishnu Chakrame. We are not supposed to take food between Parayana, the gap. Because though I didn't take anything, I could sustain my mood, hunger. I can control my hunger. And so that is all, of course, not this. So 5 times the Purnahuti was done. 5 times Purnahuti. Anju Kalam Purnahuti. So Purnahuti mantra, the two or three people who are good experts, great experts from Mannargudi, a temple of Rajagopala, Mannargudi, they did it so excellently. Each word was understood by me. I don't know about others. They were also slow and very clear in pronunciation, only in Sanskrit. And they said this way: 1, 2, 3 up to 12. Then the 12 akshara syllable mantra is Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. They said this. Then how great is Lord? how loving nature he has. And all these are brought out by lot of adjectives, encomial uttered by. I could enjoy what you call the Agama priest who uttered so many what you call adjectives. Vishnu Sahasranama was very little. There were thousands of nama. And he say, you please come and accept our worship, and then you bless us for the completion, the successful completion of the Sampropshana. So that was my divine experience was whenever I went through the Bhagavatam work, I could relate the incidents to Sampropshana. How blissful we were and how we were fortunate. And that is it was very easy to the corona restrictions were there, and 100 people were allowed according to government restriction to the Sampropshana. They issued a tag to allow people. I was one of the 15, first 15. My students also came there. Parashara Bhattar, Badrinarayana Bhattar Puram from Sriman Trust, he came there. And then Kutti Swami from East Chitrasri. He was not well. His doctor advised not to travel. And then they were expecting him at any time. Then finally he arrived safely. And then we were in Chatrumarai. We were able to present a short sloka from Srimad Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Vishnu Puranam, Bhagavad Gita, Gita Sangraha, so many, about 30 to 40 books. They recited one small portion so that, so starting with scripture. And another fortunate, when the Lord was anointed, we could say all the Panchasuttas and also the Taittiriya Upanishad. But unfortunately, the last portion in Narayanavali, about 10 pages, were interrupted by the Nadaswara music. And it was so heavy that we could not. And people generally, the village people were patient enough to listen to all this. Then, though the government said you should have a sanitizer, face mask, check temperature check, and so on. They allowed finally about 1,000 people attended. And Garuda Seva was the unique function there. Because it is Varadaraja Perumal, everything is only in connection with Kanchipuram Varadaraja. So Punyakoti Vimanam, Varada Pushkarini, the tank was called Varada Pushkarini, the Punyakoti Vimanam. Then Perundevi Vinayika, the Mahadevi is the name of the goddess. And then the goddess, the god's name is Devadhirajan Abhishtavardaha Neelambuda Vanavasi, and so on. Very beautiful names are there. And all were praying for stopping the rain. Because if rain stopped, then more people would have come. My wife advised my friend to have what we call the ginger, the dried ginger and jaggery to make a paste and then keep it on the sanctum. That stops the rain also. I got angry with her because I wanted some rain so that it will be cool, climate will be cool. Because the sun started shining on the early morning of Sampropshana. And then, of course, everybody was happy that they can walk through. Otherwise, there will be a mud road. Many devotees of that village, many, or rather, what you call the residents, the permanent residents of the village, they had those people who have traveled from abroad with corona were also saw cured. That was the and then they identified and I was also honored suitably. Of course, it's a very happy experience. Almost except the 4 hours of sleep, we were there in the temple.
So Swami, is it a very old temple?
Yeah, I will give you a small rather note on the ancient. Actually, Varadaraja Perumal indicated to some devotees that he will be found in the underground. I will give you I have a book. It is in Tamil.
Okay. So there's a story about finding the Utsava or finding the Mulabera.
Yeah. And actually, Vedapudi Krishnan has, as you said, explained the story in YouTube. You can also watch. You simply type out Karappan Order Samprokshanam in English. Then you can.
Oh, but he's Velakuri's explaining it in Tamil, no?
Yeah, he is in Tamil. Yeah, right. So these five great men were there in the
so those persons were present at the Samprokshanam, or they have to do with the temple?
Their what you call generation, their third generation was present.
So that is
Venkatacharya Swami's grandsons are there available.
So they're Archakas there?
No, the Archaka family is different.
There is Tenacharya Archakas.
Tenacharya, yeah. There are 5 villages, and the beauty there is when they want to sell or buy a house, they will not sell it to any other sampradaya. Only Tenacharya.
Oh, so it's 5 villages are completely Tengalized, and they don't.
Yeah,
they
5
don't.
village group.
Okay, and they don't allow Vadagalais also.
Yeah, no other sampradaya.
Okay.
And I was the odd man out, and therefore I enjoyed the privilege.
Okay, so you're the only Vadagalai that was invited.
Only Vadagalai, along with the priest. I know the priest also was Chanachar. I was the only man out.
Okay. Okay, I've had that experience coming with you to a Hobalam Mutt. Also, being the odd man out. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
And my friend finally brought me in his own car, same company.
So you do the Sattvika Tyaga. You do Sattvika Tyaga for doing the Parayanam, and you do it before you leave, or and then you do it after you come back, or you do it there.
No, do it there. There itself, when you start, you start with Sattvika Tyaga, end it at the last session.
After the Satamurai, and there's a big Satamurai. You were telling about big Satamurai, mentioning so many shastras.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice. And so it took 4 days, and at the end of the 4 days, because of your chanting, how the Ankuras grew very much.
Yeah, and it go up to, I think, 2 feet.
2 feet.
Yeah.
The ankuras.
The ankara in the sense of the what we call as we would have seen in Upanayanam and the Palikai.
The palika, yeah. Yeah. So they grew a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. The Navadhanyam, the 9 types of grains.
So because normally we do the Ankurapanam, and after the ceremony we look at the Ankurapanam, we see how much it has grown, and then we know how much, how if it was correct or not.
How much we are devoted.
Yeah, how much devoted. So it grew a lot, huh? Grew a lot.
Yeah, 2 feet.
2 feet in 4 days.
Yeah.
You're able to grow plants 2 feet in 4 days.
Yeah, 2 feet.
Okay. Wow. Amazing.
Right.
Okay, so
And,
thank you for that explanation.
A lot of youngsters were involved, and I was happy that volunteers were there. I mean, most of them were disciplined. Only 1 or 2 occasions they we dashed with each other. Otherwise, we are also afraid of this pandemic.
Okay,
Totally,
so
of course,
all in all, it was
because
a very good experience, except for the meals were not so good.
yeah, it was a united effort.
Did you, speaking of the meals, did you want to explain to us again? Because I don't understand this. You have a special method of taking lots of shakara pongal?
Yeah.
What you have to eat something, and then it makes you it allows you to
add
eat.
jadikai to the sakara pongal when you make a preparation.
What is it? Nalikai, nelikai.
Jadikai. I think you have to. You can, I think, easily find out from the net. Jadikai.
I don't know what this
is. A small medicinal plant seed. I think
is it cinnamon or some spice or something?
It's like, I think you have heard about Tripaladi.
Tripalachurnam.
Yeah.
Tripalachurnam. So it's a bitter medicine. You add the bitter to the shakara.
You know the 3 contents. Joyful. It's called in Hindi joyful.
Joyful is nutmeg, no?
In English, that's the name. But do you know the myrobalan, rather what you call the amla? Amla is one of
amla,
the
amla. Yeah, amla, I know.
I know.
Yeah.
And
but Jaipal is nutmeg in English.
Nutmeg. No.
Nutmeg.
But this jadikai will prevent your.
You say it's bitter. It's a little bitter.
Distaste, yeah. Bitter.
Yeah. So your idea is you eat a lot of shakara pongal, and then you feel like you cannot eat more sweets, and then you take some bitter, and then again you can take more shakara pongal.
No. You mix the. Nutmeg. So that's what he said.
You mix nutmeg in shakara pongal, and then you can take more.
Yeah.
And this is a secret. You only know this secret, or it's a very common secret.
Many previous generation knows, not the younger one.
This is a secret handed down from generations. But this is only a Sri Vaishnava secret, or it's a common Tamil secret? Everybody knows.
I don't think. I don't know whether Sri Vaishnava you do it.
Okay, because I have never had shakara pongal with nutmeg in it. In all my years in South India, nobody has ever given me shakara pongal with nutmeg.
I think cashew, it's not. It's nutmeg. It's nutmeg. Yeah, we use it too.
Okay, so you also know this secret, but you didn't tell me before.
Cardamom, cloves, and nutmeg powder and grind it into a powder. It's really very good. Yes.
In cloves also.
Cloves, cardamom, I use
Cloves,
that.
cardamom, and nutmeg, and grind it into a powder and mix it in the shakara pongal, and you can take more. See, all these years, I'm unable to take a lot of shakara pongal because I don't know the secret.
Even pachakarpuram, you can put the pachakarpuram also a little bit, pachakarpuram.
You put green camphor in, edible camphor.
Not the one,
Edible
Pachakarpuram.
camphor.
not the light.
Edible camphor.
Yeah, edible camphor. Okay.
Edible camphor.
Very,
See,
very little. More of cardamom. Yeah.
I'm learning a lot here. But in old age, if I eat so much shakara pongal, I'll get diabetes. So you should have told me this secret many years ago. but you kept this from me.
Never late.
No. Are you fond of eating sweets?
No.
Okay. That's why we didn't discuss.
Okay. Thank you. So you saved me.
Thank you. One last joke was an elderly gentleman asked me while I was taking food. He said, asked me, "Ella vandurtha appadinu kettar. Did you get everything, all items of food?" I said, "No dosa, no chapati, no idli." I said, "Only rice."
But I would not expect chapatis though. Dosa and idli, okay. But if I go to Tamil Nadu, I never expect chapatis. This Muslim food.
South Indian.
Yeah.
So one more addition. Keshav, there's one more powder. One more addition which I use is saffron.
Saffron.
We use it. We use it for Perumal Tiruvaradana also. We can put out.
Saffron.
Saffron.
Zafrani. Kumkum pu.
It's very nice.
स्वादयन्निह सर्वेषाम् त्रय्यन्तार्थम् सुदुर्ग्रहम् स्तोत्रयामास योगीन्द्रः तम् वन्दे यामुनाह्वयम् नमो नमो यामुनाय नमो नमः नमो नमो यामुनाय नमो नमः यत्पदाम्भोरुहध्यान विध्वस्ताशेषकल्मषः वस्तुतामुपयातोऽहम् यामुनेयम् नमामि तम्
श्रीमत्कृष्ण समात्वाय नमो यामुन सूनवे यत्कटाक्ष एकलक्ष्याणां सुलभः श्रीधरः सदा नमः यामुन पाद अब्ज रेणुभिः पावित आत्मने विदित अखिल वेद्याय गुरवे विदित आत्मने
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः।